Who is the most overrated player in the league?
Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. But because he's such a unique player and just a unique body type, I think people see these highlights and assume, well, he must be great all the time. But he's not an all.
The hype just cranked up a little too much too soon.
Cranked up.
Milwaukee Bucks fans in western Wisconsin were cheering their team in the NBA playoffs yesterday when two real-life Bucks crashed into the sports bar. A worker at the restaurant and two customers wrestled one of the animals to the ground. Nobody in the bar was injured, and the Bucks lost.
The Milwaukee Bucks will have a very different look going into training camp this year than they did last year. Andrew Bogut is no longer part of the picture there. They made the trade last year to bring in Monte Ellis, so now you've got Ellis and Brandon Jennings, and presumably a full season ahead of him.
News came out that Scott Skiles and the Bucks have parted ways. Woj said that someone close to Skiles said he hates his team.
Right.
Just hated his team. They were 16-16 this year, which isn't all that bad for the Bucks.
How do I see the series? I think it's going to be a good one, an exciting one. So we just going to go out there and play basketball and win.
And win?
Yeah.
And how many games?
6. We're going to win in 6.
That was my reaction. Nothing.
Speaking of sweeps, the Miami Heat disposes of the Milwaukee Bucks. LeBron James scores 30 points, and Miami cruises to an 88-77 win in Game 4. It's the first time the Heat has ever swept a playoff opponent.
One of those franchises sort of stuck in neutral a little bit, kind of in the middle, not quite able to get over the hump, and now
I think stuck in neutral is a compliment. They've won one playoff. The only time they won a playoff series was in 2001. This is since 1990.
With the 15th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks select Giannis Antetokounmpo from Athens, Greece. He last played for Fiel Atletikos in Greece.
this is a pick that is certainly going to be a future pick. We're looking down the road, but a great talent with a great feel for the game. Can you put him in an NBA game right now? You probably cannot.
According to reports, the Pistons and Bucks have agreed to a sign and trade deal that will send Brandon Jennings to the Pistons in exchange for Brandon Knight, Chris Middleton, and Slava Krasov.
Milwaukee, I'm slowly starting to like what they're doing, putting this team together.
Why do we keep forgetting about the Bucks? The Eastern Conference is going to be terrible. I think there are many more bad teams in the Eastern Conference. You play your own conference teams more than you play the other conference, so some records are going to get inflated. I think the Bucks have a chance for a 6 or 7 seed.
Free look at a free throw. Giannis. I think as he gets more experience, you'll see more of these type plays from him.
The Milwaukee Bucks may have the worst record in all of the NBA this season, but that didn't stop a pair of Wall Street billionaires from shelling out $550 million to buy the team. We are talking about a team, though, that has not won a playoff championship since 1971.
That's correct.
By many accounts, this might not be a great investment.
The second pick will be made by the Milwaukee Bucks. And that means that the #1 pick in the 2014 NBA draft goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
With the second pick in the 2014 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Jabari Parker from Duke University.
Jason Kidd, today, is now the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. As a head coach of Brooklyn, he asked for more power there. He wanted to be able to pick his own players. They said no way. So he goes to Milwaukee, where the new owner of the Milwaukee Bucks used to be his financial advisor and a part owner of the Brooklyn Nets.
Milwaukee Bucks, guys, are they going to win a lot of basketball games? No, but you've got the Greek freak there. Let's see how he progresses there in his second year. You got a potential rookie of the year in Jabari Parker. They just have some young, prospects there. I can't wait to see sort of flourish, especially with Jason Kidd coming in there to run this team.
Team announced that Tuesday, Jabari Parker is expected to miss the rest of the season. Parker, who was the second overall pick in this year's draft, will have surgery for a torn ACL in his left knee.
Jabari Parker reminds me of a potential Carmelo Anthony in the making.
Let's start with the Bucks because they traded away Brandon Knight, a near all-star, and they get back Michael Carter-Williams as their biggest piece. And to me, this has got Jason Kidd's fingerprints all over it. He's a bigger point guard. He's not a great shooter, just like Jason Kidd, but he's a man who gets triple doubles.
Behind the back, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Holy moly! We would say, what a play by Giannis. Jason coached his Milwaukee Bucks to one of the biggest blowouts in NBA playoff history. They lose by 54 points to Chicago. There it is. We've got ejections and the whole bit. Milwaukee, that's an embarrassment to be out.
Well, I'll tell you what, first of all, it's a great move for the Milwaukee Bucks. Jason Kidd did a great job with them. Jabari Parker, the big-time rookie, was out with injury. Now you bring him back. You bring in Greg Monroe. You've got Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, this is a team that is on the rise.
That was their big calling card on defense.
Oh, my gosh.
Who is the most overrated player in the league?
Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. But because he's such a unique player and just a unique body type, I think people see these highlights and assume he must be great all the time. But he's not an all-star.
The hype just cranked up a little too much, too soon.
Cranked up. Great player on Vine, a great player on Twitter.
Ball spinning several times already tonight. Jordan. That is a monster finish. A monster finish.
And he gets a foul out of it also.
The 6'11" Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, is going to start at point guard and made the Bucks even more of a league pass all-star type of team, where you'd flip through it and you'd be like, is Giannis running the offense? Does anybody know he's running the offense?
With the 36th pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Malcolm Brogdon from the University of Virginia.
Great things happening around this organization. We think sitting here with Giannis is another part of that. To sign Giannis to this rookie extension guarantees us 5 more years with him, and we couldn't be more excited about that.
This would not be happening if Chris Middleton didn't have a long-term injury. This is the second acquisition Milwaukee's had since that injury that happened 3 or 4 days before training camp began. They need shooting.
Well, the bad news on Milwaukee Bucks superstar Jabari Parker got worse today. Teammates helped Parker off the court last night after Parker injured his left knee.
Jason Kidd didn't mince any words today, coming out right away saying Jabari Parker tore the ACL in his left knee again.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is the most improved player. I think the one thing that we've seen with him is leadership. I think we always thought he was a great player, but we saw the leadership skills of taking guys to another level, and I thought that was the biggest part of what he did well.
To be great in this league, to make a team great, it's not gonna be easy to go deep in the playoffs. So that's what I'll do next year. Hopefully I can be prepared, and hopefully my team can be better prepared, so we can go deeper in the playoffs.
And one thing led to another, and so John got the job in Orlando, and we were in the general manager search business. We were going through the process. I always said, John is a GM of the future, and when we considered it all, we said, the future is kind of now. And he's ready for the job. He's a very, very talented, very smart young guy.
He not only led in those categories, they were also career highs in each of those categories as well. So you talk about his continued improvement. How high is his ceiling?
Well, it's a little bit scary to think about what it is that he can accomplish, especially given what last year represented.
I think he makes them better. He's a very good on-ball defender. He can put points up on the board. He's hardcore. He's tenacious. He goes after it. He can play the point position, and he just adds another dimension to the Milwaukee Bucks. You have an owner had a conversation with Jason Kidd and basically told him, I think we should be the best team in the Eastern Conference because we've got the best under 25 players in basketball, and we are underachieving. And as a result, he thinks that Jason Kidd needed to go.
Knocked away and stolen. Here's Middleton. Giannis trailing the lob. Giannis Antetokounmpo for Chris Middleton.
The Boston Celtics outlast the Bucks in Game 7 and take the first round series.
It was such a hard-fought series, and in the end,
The home court advantage was too much. Giannis, the absolute best player in this series, but the home court advantage was too much.
By all accounts, this guy really knows what he's doing. He's obviously a Spur protege, came from Greg Popovich, great success in Atlanta. They went into trust the process mode down there. He doesn't want any part of that. Right. So he goes, he's got a star player to build around and a team that's got some really nice young pieces around him.
With the 17th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Dante DiVincenzo from Villanova University.
You know, I mean, Brook Lopez is who he is in the NBA. He's a terrific shooter for a 7-footer. He's limited defensively. But like we talked about, Coach Bud wants all 5 guys on the court to be able to shoot, and Lopez can do that.
No, he can shoot it. And listen, in essence, he signed a deal for a minimum contract.
We haven't been in the second round, period. We got to do better, and we got to play better, and hopefully we can accomplish it. If we don't accomplish it, got to go back, work hard again and again and again.
First 2-game losing streak of the season. Oh, what a move by Giannis!
That's just nasty. That's the type of basketball I love to watch. That's why these Milwaukee fans are so hyped, because they have an MVP candidate that loves giving the people what they want.
Sending Niko MIROTIC back up there to the Bucks seems like a fantastic deal for them.
An absolutely grand slam deal for the Bucks, not because it's a superstar player, but to get a guy like this on deadline day. There were 4 or 5 teams interested in him, is terrific, and good general managing by John Horst in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee Bucks, basically wire to wire, have had the best record in basketball. And why is it? Because they've been the best team in basketball. And why is that? Because they've had the best player in basketball, in the Greek Freak.
The Bucks suffering a pretty ugly loss at home, game 1. I know, like second round, woo!
As a team, I don't know where Milwaukee goes from here.
What are you? Whoa! So is this over?
No, listen, I think it's over.
This series is over.
Yeah, Boston is just going to out-talent them.
Milwaukee absolutely demolishes the Celtics. 116-91, advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since '01. Boston making history with an epic collapse. They're now the first team in league history to win their first 5 games in the playoffs, only to lose their next 4.
For many people, this is a stunner, although the Raptors were just 2 games behind the Milwaukee Bucks in the regular season. They're off the bench to celebrate.
The 2019 NBA Coach of the Year is
Mike Budenholzer!
First of all, I want to thank my teammates. It takes more than one person to win 16 games. I want to thank the front office, the ownership, for believing in me. And I was 18 years old back in Greece. They allowed me to lead this team and trust me.